Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. Hey, real quick, if you like these videos, if you're getting any kind of value out of this content, if you want more Christian content, please like and subscribe to the channel. Go like and subscribe to my other channel where I have the vlogs. Sorry, excuse me. I really appreciate it, guys. We're trying to get monetized over here, and it would just mean the world to me if you could do that. So thank you so much for that. Thank you for tuning in consistently if you have been. I want to get right into it. I want to talk about some of the Erica Kirk and Candace Owens. So as far as politics goes, this has like been one of the only stories that I've been following consistently, and one of the only ones that I think really frustrates me because I want to see the vindication for Erica. And I posted a video, I think 2 or 3 days ago, and a lot of people in the comment section were saying like, "Oh, you're a Zionist, and you're a simp for Erica," and like yada yada yada. First of all, I don't owe you an explanation to every single question that gets put out. You're using an anonymous address or whatever. Like when I have the conversations, I'll have the conversations. When I make the videos, I'll address certain things, but I don't owe you any explanation as to why I would have biases. I have a bias not because of hating Candace Owens or being a Zionist. And by the way, a Zionist is just somebody that believes that Israel has the right to exist. So if you're not a Zionist, then you don't believe Israel has the right to exist. And anyway, I digress. So seeing a lot of that, I don't owe you an explanation. But I will say that there is some real struggles for me in what I've seen and the treatment that Erica Kirk has received. And I said in my last video that nobody has ever been put in a situation like Erica where their husband or wife has been murdered for the entire world to see, and they have to go and show face, and they have to go and lead an organization to the extent that she has and keep her composure. And I commend her for that. I think what she's doing is amazing. I don't agree with every decision they've made. I didn't exactly agree with everything they did with the Super Bowl halftime show. I would have really preferred if they would have had Corey Asbury and Forrest Frank doing something. And now looking back, it makes sense why those two guys said that what TPUSA is doing and what those guys wanted to do was incompatible. Which is unfortunate because I do think that Charlie's legacy is more faith-based as opposed to, a desire for politics to be the overarching thing in somebody's life. But I also think that that's probably a decision Charlie would have made as well. But for me as a believer, it is kind of frustrating that you have these two guys that are the top performers and they want to do this. But I digress. What I'm seeing right now, it actually goes into some scripture that I'm going to share here a little bit later in the video. So stay tuned for that as far as what I believe the approach to somebody like Erica is. Now, here is the thing. If Erica is truly guilty, more power to Candace. If Erica is truly implicated in this, more power to Candace. The only problem is that Candace has flip-flopped on almost everything. Sorry. She lied about the Egyptian planes. She lied about the meeting with Charlie and Bill Ackman. She lied about, if you, let me go back. If you want to take Candace's point of view as truth, Charlie would have changed everything, done a complete 180 in just about everything in his life based on what Candace is saying, had he lived another month or two. So I'll give you a few examples. She said that Charlie was praying the rosary and was really considering being Catholic. Don't believe that. Nobody believes that. Almost a year ago, he got in a huge debate with Michael Knowles and in some fundamental issues that I don't think he could possibly reconcile and become Catholic, that the Catholics believe. Said that the meeting with Bill Ackman went a certain way. The letter came out the letter BB, no, maybe that was a BB Netanyahu thing. Multiple eyewitnesses came out and said that the meeting with Bill Ackman did not go the way Candace described it. Now she's even saying, oh, the Egyptian planes, obviously that was, to her, to Candace's own lawyer's office in Delaware that's handling the Brigitte Macron deal. And then now you're hearing her say that Erica and Charlie were fighting the night before Charlie was assassinated, and bringing her kids into it. I mean, how disgusting. Like, bringing the kids into it and trying to create like a world. Like, this is what she's doing. She's creating a world based on complete speculation. Like, you get one piece of evidence and she's calling it the Blues Clues and all this stuff. And so if you're going to look at Candace's, point of view, Charlie was done with Israel. He was going to become Catholic and he was going to leave Erica and the kids. Like, I don't understand. And I think when you start to see some of the things that Candace says, like she said in her more recent podcast episode, that the evidence is out about Erica, and I'm speaking verbatim here, but she said I knew and I felt that something was off when she let Ben Shapiro speak before her or after her, or whatever it was. And I'm looking at this, I'm like, is this really about her hatred for Ben Shapiro and Israel? I don't understand it. And, she says that her podcast is for God's glory. And as a believer, that I feel like I have discernment in some of these issues, and I just don't see that. I don't see her invoking scripture. I don't see her taking wise counsel. Everybody that she talks to that has been a voice in her life has come out and said, I can't convince Candace of anything. Even the person that she said could speak and she would shut up, Erica Kirk, has spoken and said, hey, please stop doing this. She said, no, I'm not going to. And she's created an entire narrative based on Erica somehow being implicated in her husband's death. I mean, it just, the person that could, the grieving widow that could go up and say, I forgive the shooter, is somehow implicated in the death. I just, again, that might be speculation on my end, but I don't see it. I don't see how she can say that this is somehow Erica's doing, or that she's somehow complicit based on, Erica not being truthful with her. First of all, if somebody I don't like calls me and questions me after something tragic happens in my family and I don't want to answer the question, guess what? I'm not obligated to answer it. I don't even think truthfully. Now, I would just say, hey, leave me alone. I don't like you. And the unfortunate thing is that conversation has probably happened. And, Candace is such a crazy person that she feels entitled to information. And I just know that when you're with somebody that's grieving, you're supposed to grieve with them. Like, I don't know. I mean, Jesus grieved with people, with family members of the people that he was going to go resurrect. Like, there's a place in this. I mean, how many people in Candace's life have come out and said, hey, this isn't like I've come out against her. We have, I'm looking at my screen right here. We have, just off the top of my head, Frank Turek, Erica, the people at TPUSA, Dave Rubin, Brandon Tatum. I mean, even Megyn Kelly has started to kind of backtrack some of the things she said. Patrick Bet-David, obviously Ben Shapiro, and Matt Walsh recently came out, like, etc. Now, I don't think Michael Knowles is going to come out because he's the godfather of her children, or one of her children, I think. So I don't see that one happening. That would mean a lot. But again, it doesn't matter. To Candace, it's, even Patrick Bet-David said that he spoke to her. He had a long conversation, and Patrick is a leader amongst leaders. And he said, Candace isn't going to listen to anybody. She's not going to listen to anybody. And she doesn't. She clearly doesn't. And it's the next thing, well, how can I create this story? Again, like I said in the last video, it's like Bigfoot hunters. How can I create a narrative and get people watching and tuning in? Because if she solved the case, then nobody's going to continue to tune in. She's built her reputation on this. And it is unfortunate. It is sad. And we are called as believers, at least I myself, I don't consider myself religious. I consider myself in a relationship with Jesus, and I follow Christ. But this does tie into scripture and how we're supposed to treat these people. And I mourn for Erica. I've cried for Charlie multiple times. If you look at one of my vlogs on my other channel, Michelle and I went and visited TPUSA, and both of us were emotional. It was hard when I saw, the shot happen. I didn't always watch Charlie. I didn't tune into everything he said or did. I agreed with a lot of what he said and did, but some of that stuff is so political for me that it's hard to tune in. And to think that he could be such an idiot in Candace's mind, that he didn't pick the right wife, he didn't pick the right friends, he didn't pick the right business associates, he didn't pick the right causes. Again, it seems to me like this spiritual thing against Judaism and against the Jewish people that Candace is stepping into, that is causing all of this. And her hatred for Ben Shapiro is so deep rooted that she's willing to attack Erica and bring the kids into it, like talking about her daughter's bedtime and how she got woken up, and how Candace somehow would know how the children sleep. And it's just weird, man. And it's frustrating. It's not how, as believers, which is what Candace claims to be, that we're called to live. I said I was going to bring up some scripture. I'll read from James 1:26, and then I'll get off here. But if anyone thinks he is religious without controlling his tongue, his religion is useless, and he deceives himself. Pure and I think this passage right here, James 1:26 and 27, really encompasses a worldview that anybody that's watching Candace Owens, anybody that is even her in general, but anybody that's emulating her in this, needs to take heed of. Because I don't see any credible evidence that Erica Kirk has anything to do with this. It seems like it's Tyler Robinson. That's like where the evidence is leading is Tyler Robinson. Like, this is all conspiracy and I don't know. So let me read this. If anyone thinks he is religious without controlling his tongue, his religion is useless, and he deceives himself. Pure and undefiled religion before God the Father is this: to look after orphans and widows in their distress, and to keep oneself unstained from the world. So why do I bring this up? Why do I talk about this? And I would, if she was just a dingbat that nobody listened to, I think I would not go into depth about it. But I have friends that are drinking the Candace Owens Kool-Aid that I've had conversations with. I've had family members that think that she's a credible source, and I'm just like, and this is before the Charlie Kirk stuff, and still at times, and I've not liked the way she's conducted herself the last couple of years. And my eyes were really open. And I even told my wife, she fights with everyone. There's nobody that can disagree with her, to the point where she would say, hey, you know what? I respect that. Even when she was on Joe Rogan, Joe Rogan is the most even keel guy, gives everybody a platform to speak. She fought with Joe Rogan. It's literally, if you go type in top 5 meltdowns on Joe Rogan, it's Candace Owens is number 1 or 2. And I would encourage believers to have a little bit more discernment, to not drink the Kool-Aid, and to ask yourself, what could she say or do that I would disagree with? Because I guarantee that answer would have been different 3 months ago, and it's what she's doing right now. But you're being brought along this trail of, oh, I would never. I mean, it's just like during COVID, oh, I would never put a mask on. A month later, we're all wearing masks. Oh, I would never social distance. A couple weeks later, we're social distancing. Oh, I would never close down the schools. A couple weeks after that, we're closing down the schools. Oh, I would never stop going to church. The churches are closed down. It's these little progressions that lead to big things, big steps, and you don't realize it until you take a step back and say, wow. So I hope that helps you guys. I hope that gives you guys a biblical framework of how we are to look after widows and orphans. And again, if you guys like the video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment what you think down below. All right. I love you guys. Peace.